Hello, this is Grandpa Jackal, also known as Only Joe Can Judge Me, and this is the third and final part of a three-part series of close quarters convoy solos. I'll go with my loadout real quick. I brought the orbital rail cannon and orbital laser for obvious reasons. They're extremely strong against convoys. I brought an EATS because this was the last in a three-part series, so I wanted to flex a little bit and do something different. And I brought a jump pack for mobility because mobility is the key to close quarters killing convoys. I'd like to start by explaining that I think that convoys, especially special unit convoys like Incinerator or in this case, Jet Brigade, are some of the hardest content in the game. And fighting the convoy up close is especially difficult, as opposed to like shooting it from super far away or scouting it, finding a good seed, and just using an AT chair and just destroying the convoy from a safe distance. The other thing is that people like to say that that way of doing the convoy is quick. They can do it in like 6 or 7 minutes. Some people can do it in like 5 or 6 minutes. So I wanted to show that you can fight the convoy up close and still kill them in between 5 and 6 minutes with this build, which is different than the builds that you usually see with convoy, which are long range, using cover and just pinging convoy from across the map and fighting it.
Tagging map.
This approach is up close and personal. The first two videos in the series were like slowly and gradually becoming more and more of an open space map biome. The first one was the jungle, which is all close quarters, so it's easy to do CQB convoy mission. Then the second was a little more hilly terrain, offering more cover, but more open than a jungle or forest map. And this is just wide open and flat, and with the Jet Brigade, which surprisingly gave me problems. I brought the EATS thinking the Jet Brigade was going to be a lot easier than Incinerators, and I was surprised to find out that they were in fact a problem. Just to note, this footage is a little older. The three-part series was shot right before the big updates with weapon customization and the whole squid arc. So all of it is from that build, from right before that, actually. As you can see, about 3 minutes has passed. Two of the factory structures from the convoy are destroyed. They were destroyed in the opening minutes of the game, using a well-placed orc and the orbital laser, and an EAT blast to the face. EAT is especially good with hip fire. Hip firing for people that don't know is not using your scope, just like I did right now, and just firing your AT weapon. It feels smoother, and you're not beholden to like the weird ergo or the animation or anything when you aim down sight, whether that be third person or first person aim down sight. Some people would argue that there's no ergo. There is definitely some sort of sway, and then when you ADS in first person, your view is obscured by your AT weapon. When you hit fire your AT weapon, your vision is just fully clear and unobstructed, making it easier to basically point and click at your target. So I think right now I'm trying to grab another EATS. I guess I'm taking that out because I don't want it to cause a problem for me. I'm heading back to my convoy at this point. I don't want units called down on me and get pinched, which can be a problem because the convoy can also call units down on you. Another thing about the EATS is the availability of it. Using EATS in this case was like having a recoilless rifle and being able to carry my jump pack at the same time. EATS and recoilless do similar damage. There's the hip fire again. If you're paying attention to what I was saying, hip fire is ridiculously fast and smooth. There's really no reason to aim down sight, especially if you have the persistent reticle. Just point and click. Don't bother to aim. You'll be moving at just a natural speed, whatever you set your speed at, and not have to deal with the weapon ergo or the weapon obscuring your view, or just anything related to the weapon and handling. And as you can see, Convoy killed in the first 6 minutes of the game. Up close and personal with an EAT. Unscouted, too. So I'd like to point that out. I'm watching a few more games online, and I'm just, I can't be certain, but I just see things that make me feel like these players are scouting their maps and trying over and over again in the same map, and finding a good seed, an empty seed, and just presenting a much different game than a natural game like this. Every single one of my games is unscouted, so there's no cherry picking, there's no seed hunting. Everything is on the fly, and for me, it's just a lot more authentic. That's just my opinion, though. I think unscouted games are way, way harder. Some people may disagree, and that's fine. It's okay to have different opinions. But just know that when you come to this channel, these games are legit. They're not pre-rehearsed. I'm not precognizant of the conditions, of the side objectives, of enemy paths, of standing enemy patrols. It's just me navigating a map that I've never played before. And in this case, doing 3 convoys within the span of, I think I recorded this, all 3 in about a week. And showing that you can fight convoys up close. You don't have to scout your map and fight a convoy from over 500 or 600 meters away. You can fight it, you can scrap with it, you can fight it right up against it. Again, I say I use EATS as a flex stratagem, but really, it's like a disposable recoilless rifle. I chose it over Commando because it has that much more damage over the Commando, and it's way more available. If you were to compare availability of the EATS versus the Commando, and you want to do big damage to something like a convoy, EATS wins. I use both, and for another type of map I probably would have used Commando, but in order to effectively combat the factory striders, I chose EATS, and it worked out really well.
Orbital strike incoming.
I don't know the exact damage, but it's not the same as a recoilless rifle, but it's close. That's another thing. When I watch other people play, I don't see this type of movement, and that's the first thing that makes me think that the games are scouted. Because one thing about soloing effectively, like Deathless solos, is you have to be really fast. And when people are moving super slow and like methodical, for me it's almost like it's a tell or a giveaway that that's a scouted map. You know, like I'm ducking under laser fire, I'm jumping away. I'm moving at a really fast pace because I have to. because I don't know the conditions of the map.
Mission at 30 minutes remaining.
So if you're watching games and you're seeing things go really smooth for that player, and he's not getting bounced around, and it just looks super, super boring, I would be suspicious. As you can see, like an unscouted game, there's a lot of back and forth, especially if you're a CQB engager, or you're choosing to get up close and personal. I mean, I've conferred like with one of my good friends, Sufi Incognito, who is one of the best players I know, and he kind of says the same thing. When you watch somebody and you don't see all that agility and all that reaction, and you just see somebody kind of slowly plodding through, and like, look at this. All of this is unscripted. But when you see somebody plodding through his game, and you're wondering, like, why is this so different? There's no enemies. It just looks like he's on rails. It's because he's found a seed with low population, and he knows generally what's coming his way. So he's not really, too concerned. Whereas I'm jumping and running and getting smashed around, and I have to be super fast, and I want to get the hell out of here because I don't know. I don't know any one of those rockets could have killed me. But that's the first thing to look for to see if a game looks like it's scouted or it's unscouted. You see a little bit of give and take, a little bit of uncertainty. Chances are that's an unscouted game. If the guy's just slowly plodding along and he's just like meandering through and just winning, it's probably a scouted game. I watched a few players recently who were pretty much not that good at the game. Suddenly start producing like Deathless clears and all types of different clears, stimulus clears. And I watch their movement, and it's just really slow, and the reactions are really slow. So it's not that serious to me, but for me, that's suspect.
Tagging map.
As you can see, the ultimatum is still able to one-shot jammers. Like I said, this footage was all taken right before the patches.
Sending down support weapon.
One of the problems with one of these like moon maps is the lack of cover, and if you're unlucky, like this map, there's a lot of units interspersed, just like littered, sprinkled throughout the map. For those that don't know, you can use supply pods and the eats pods to destroy fabricators. That's particularly relevant when you have something like an eats, because you have a lot of pod cooldowns.
Dropping a pin.
Sending down support weapon.
reload. I'm out.
Outpost destroyed.
Like I said, you have to constantly move because the enemies slowly get closer and closer to acquiring and finding you and shooting you.
Deploying support weapon. Deploying equipment package.
One of the things I wanted to do was do this CQB convoy thing 3 times, just to show that it wasn't a fluke. And on the 30 something crazy looking eats.
Sub-objective in your vicinity.
I go over it in every video, but every time you jump, it's like racing footprints that can be tracked by bots. So jump often. Don't jump right next to units because they will hear or see you. When you're clear enough, jump away, and it's like you're cleaning up tracks.
Deploying support weapon.
I'm out.
Again, hip fire the eats. Another thing is there's like almost like a micro stutter. I almost killed myself there. There's like a micro stutter. And I only did that because they changed something. It switches to secondary weapons now when you switch weapons, when you swap. And it's throwing me off. Anyway, there's also, when you aim down sight, there's like a micro lag between the time that you see down target and the time you press the button to aim down sight. So by hip firing, you skip that.
Tagging map.
You hear me chewing? I'm eating pizza right now. What's up, pardon me?
Sub-objective in your vicinity. Sending down equipment package.
This is a nice little skirmish that happens right here. There's no cover.
Strike incoming.
There are units. The map is like littered with hulks in every direction. And rocket types. So it makes a nice little war dance.
Last reload.
I channel my inner John Wick here. Almost died. Another thing that I like to speak about is repositioning. So you don't always have to run away from the fight. You can just reset your angle. Resetting your angle means removing yourself from the middle of your skirmish, running a little bit, and putting all the enemies in front of you. Anytime you're overwhelmed or you're caught in a bad position or you're caught out of position, you should probably reset your angle if you're not going to leave altogether. Jet Brigade make it interesting because when you jump, they jump.
Out of ammo!
And not only is that visually jarring, it's like psychologically jarring on most players.
Engaging orbital laser. Pod asset destroyed.
So even though this is a wide open map, there's a little bit of cover. The terrain is slightly hilly and cratery. Anytime you get up on a crater, try to get low and just peek your head and shoulders over. It'll provide a decent amount of cover.
Found something! Helldivers never die!
So we reset our angle, we came back, we're looking for the ammo pod. Another thing is, cover is not meant to be stayed. You're not supposed to stay behind cover the entire time. It's a momentary pause as you reset yourself and re-engage.
Deploying equipment package.
Freedom never sleeps! Last reload! Dropping a pin.
Deploying support weapon. Firing orbital strike.
A lot of people don't use Orc because I feel like the cooldown is a little long. Honestly, 2 minutes, cycle through your weapons, cycle through your kit, and the Orc will be back in time for most skirmishes. And it can often clutch a battle.
That's called democracy!
Pair that with the eats, and they have good synergy. They're always available, and they cover each other. So you have one heavy stopper every so often, and you never run out of ways to approach heavies. Again, that was one of the better skirmishes in the game. That and the fortress earlier. There's a lot of dynamic movement, popping in and out of cover, resetting angles. A lot of cooldown management, which is also very important.
Sending down equipment package. Deploying support weapon.
I'm out.
Outpost cleared.
I don't think I aim down sight on my eats once this game.
Last reload!
You can also take down dropships, just like a recoilless or a commando can. One shot to the engines and the ship will go down.
Mission is progressing.
There's a bunch of bots trying to perform surprise butt sex on me.
Tagging map.
And we give them a no thank you ma'am and escape with their phone book.
Sending down support weapon.
This is where things get weird. So look at this base right here. Also watch me totally whiff one of my eats. There was no factory strata there, right? See, again, zero factory strata, right? Just your average base. And suddenly, random factory strutter. I blame Joel. Where did that come from? How did that get there? A mystery we may never solve.
Sending down support weapon.
Nope. Can't call him. No reinforcements for you. Again, by force of habit, I like to crouch when I fire. It's just something I do. I'm basically shrinking my profile down, my target ability. By crouching or going prone, I'm making less surface area to be hit. And it usually works out in my favor. Also, crouching gives you an accuracy bonus. So, if you can remember, crouch. If you've been paying attention throughout the game, a lot of times I'll be crouching and firing.
10 minutes remaining. Deploying support weapon.
Can we go check on our doggo?
Outpost cleared.
And doggo's gone. So weird. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm confused right now because I don't understand at this time where the doggo went. It's like hurting my brain. Another thing I'd like to point out is that I like engineering builds because I like distraction plays. But I can take a convoy out without turrets.
Last reload.
Another thing I'm looking at is the mission clock. Every time I get closer, they try to call reinforcements, and they have successfully. So I back off. I have no ammo, so I have to run back and grab ammo.
Dropping a pin.
So this is me making the executive decision to despawn. Because I think I'm feeling kind of butthurt. Okay, there was the world's most amazing invisible doggo.
Sending down support
Then there
weapon.
was non-stop calling reinforcements. So I'm pulling away, and I'm going to re-come back there.
I'm out.
After they're done with their tantrum. Again, this game is a few weeks old. I have no idea why I'm fighting here.
Tactical asset nearby.
Oh, no. Okay, so I wasn't despawning. Basically, I was missing a side objective, and I'm trying to find it. So that's another reason I was looking at the map earlier. I was trying to look for markers on the map that showed me where the missing side objective was. And I wasn't despawning at all. I was literally just wandering around trying to look for this thing.
Sending down equipment back.
And I finally found it.
Minutes remaining. I repeat, 5 minutes remaining.
Not today. Last reload. Super! Ah!
Democracy delivered.
If there are long pauses between commentary, I don't necessarily believe in talking for the sake of talking. Almost died there. I believe if something comes to mind, if the game has displayed something I want to talk about, I'll speak. But otherwise, I'll just let the game play out. I try to keep it yap-free. I said I've my rant earlier about scouted versus unscouted games. I was bringing a point up about that because I don't know if you noticed, but this has been a pretty crazy game. And when I watch other people's games, they look way easier. There's way less resistance. They have skirmishes, but they're different. You know, it's like watching. I don't know how old everybody is, but Time Crisis, which was an old arcade shooter where you had to step on a pedal and you fired a gun, and there was a little recoil action. It was really, really fun. But it feels like all their skirmishes are like that. It's on rails. It's just presented to you. You're on a roller coaster, and your enemies are just scripted your way, you know? Whereas my games look like all hell's breaking loose. Because it is. You know, because it's random. There's emotion behind it. There's panic. Excitement, fear, all that.
Sub-objective in your vicinity.
Better wash my hands.
Package retrieved.
So one thing to note, what you saw there is that when things get hot, and it seems
Dropping a pin.
that you're caught out of position and you're gonna get caught in like a combat loop, sometimes it's better to rotate off the target and do something else. The game is designed to trip you up in combat. It's designed to get you caught up in a skirmish and kind of slowly hemorrhage time or lives. And it's meant to trick you because most of us, when we start fighting, we get like we get locked in. So it's important to know when to engage and disengage, when to reset, when to continue fighting, when to rotate off of a target, and even when to despawn. Knowing those things are how you effectively solo this game.
Preparing to leave.
Or just scout. Way easier. So I have seconds left here. Seconds. Because I've had to wrench this game away from these angry Jet Brigade bots. They really did give me a run for my money. This is my favorite of the 3 convoy games. There was a ton of action. There was a ton of back and forth. There was several moments where I should have died and just barely got out of it. Whether pre-stim or pure luck.
Destroyer leaving low orbit. Emergency extraction shuttle deployed.
It was fun to play, and in retrospect from watching it, it's fun to watch.
Liberty emerges victorious yet again. Extract when ready.
and I have nothing particularly against people that play scouter games, but in my opinion, it goes against the spirit of the game. Against a game that's solely built around RNG. RNG is what makes this game special. When you remove it from the game, you've removed like a key element from it. You've removed the thing that keeps me playing it over and over again. I know I'm gonna play a game, and each time, random crazy shit's gonna happen. I know that even if I do everything perfectly and correctly, I'm gonna run into some problems. And part of the fun of this game is learning how to mitigate those problems. And some of them are really wacky and they don't make sense. And the RNG makes the game super unfair sometimes. But that's what makes this a better game than other games. So removing that element from the game is like removing the soul from the game. It's also, in my opinion, removing the core difficulty of the game. And any game like that, and this is just my opinion, is inauthentic.
ETA T-minus 10 seconds. Clear landing zone.
That's the only difference that you'll get with my channel. You may get a bunch of other games where people are going stimless and, you know. And I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I have a really good clanmate, literally one of the best players that I've played with, Antique Novo. I'm talking about a bunch of other people that I've watched where it just does not look good at all.
Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
And that's the final game in my 3-part convoy series of Super Helldive, Automaton, Special Unit, Close Quarter Combat, Convoy Solos. I've seen a lot of high difficulty games, and this was my way of separating myself from the other people doing those things. So I look forward to watching somebody else's unscouted CQB Special Unit Convoy series. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. And also join my Discord. It's Team Nomads. There'll be a link in the bio. Well, there's a link in the bio and the description. Take care, have fun, and Godspeed, Helldivers. Grandpa Jackal signing out.